Zach, we finally managed to assemble the Taboo Trinity. And it was certainly no small task. I just hope it rewards us. Okay, Pastor. I'd like to exchange it for a ticket.
Oh, how apt. You see, my dear lost lamb, our Lord still hungers. One anaconda skin, one squirrel tail, and one pressed white guara. This is...
Are you kidding me?
How pitiful.
I told you this was... Come on.
Part of me just wants to say to hell with it and go You know, Patty, I just remembered something. When we met Philip in the sheriff's office, what sort of history does Melvin have with the Clarksons?
What do you mean? The Clarksons know everyone in town. This is Lucare.
Zach, something isn't right here. I just hope the Clarksons don't have anything to do with her mother's illness. That's all I'm concerned about. Either way, the truth will reveal itself to us eventually, just like it always has. Okay, Patty. I'm going to try... Found it, Zach. An anaconda and freshly shed from the looks of... Now, let's get a move on before we run into its... What do you think God wants with some... Hey, Zach. 1997 directed the movie where the famous John Voight goes crazy with a rifle. Jennifer Lopez, Eric Stoltz, even Owen Wilson and Ice Cube were in it. Is that an all-star cast, or the scene in the beginning where Danny Trejo climbs up a ladder with a pistol in one hand is a must-see. It stole my heart within the first 5 minutes. Okay, back to the... About 3 years ago, I met a man who had a pair of anaconda skin shoes. He said they were a trophy from a snake he hunted and skinned all by himself. Could you kill something and then wear its skin? I fail to see any difference between that and a crazed murderer who carries pieces of his victims home with him. Zach, I never knew that following oracles was such backbreaking. I really needed this cigarette. I think I'm on the verge of losing my mind. Now we just need to find one pressed white Gora. He was very clear that it had to be pressed. Do they sell pressed flowers in stores here? I think I'm stumped, Zach. Perhaps we better go ask our well-informed concierge. So you clearly love TV shows, but what about movies?
Movies? We don't even have a movie theater around here, so I can only watch what I manage to catch on TV.
Like what?
For some reason, the only movie channel we get...
It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her, but it's a small town. Pretty much all folks know who the Clarksons are, and Galena's supposed to be extra scary compared to the rest of them. Back when we saw her in town, I felt like she was glaring right at me, so I got real scared. No one will come out and say it, but I'm pretty...
You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Did you notice it yet? The Okay, Zach. Let's go talk to our concierge. It'd be impossible for us to find a white Gora all on our own.
Welcome back.
Hello there, concierge.
How may I help?
I'm in need of a... Do you know of a store?
The Lord hungers?
Correct.
Jolly good, sir. In that case, please. His hobby is pressing flowers, so...
Got a minute, Chef?
What is it, mister? I got my...
Do you know where I might find a pressed white Gora?
Now, what did I don't flap my gums about any oath. If you want to know about the town, you best ask our concierge. Now, I don't if you
May I ask you a question?
Sure, boss.
I need to find a pressed...
You like flowers, boss?
Well, not exactly, but it's the will of God.
The Lord!
Excellent, David. Way to cut... Do you know where I might find one?
Sorry, boss. We only have one white Gora bush in our garden. Yep.
What's the problem?
Well, yesterday I picked them all and pressed them, see?
That's perfect.
Sorry, boss. No can do.
What do you mean?
I used all the pressed flowers I made to decorate a very...
What spot?
The bedroom on the first floor.
The bathroom.
Yes, sir. So...
Well then, I'll just go...
I wouldn't do that if taking a pressed flower from a bathroom into church? Ah, Jesus ain't gonna... Sorry, but it looks like...
Whether it's a restaurant or a hotel, I'm sure you feel the same way. Now this, it might even trump the one we saw in that drug dealer's house in Austin, remember? The art piece on display in there utilized the natural curves of human ribs in such a novel way. It was truly brilliant. Zach! The white Gora. Never thought I... Did he, Zach? God himself commanded us to carry out this very... Therefore, I'm simply doing as I'm told. My own will has nothing to do... We never get to engage in adventures like these while living in the city, do we, Zach? No, the cases of the city are honestly quite... or chase... And usually, if I have to... It's just... This is the cut... I sincerely...
That
Heavenly. Truly heavenly.
He threw away all the Spam, the red beans, and the spinach. I don't believe this. All this time he was only after the cans?
Shh, be quiet, Agent York. He's doing holy work. Just be quiet and watch.
What a fragrant pressed flower. Thank you for this blessing, O Lord.
Yes, Zach. As fragrant as a urinal cake.
Shh. Behold, it is finished. Our Lord is enraptured. Take this, my lambs, and let it serve you.
Just take it, Agent York. Folks say Pastor Sanders' instruments have special powers.
Special powers?
Yes, it is the truth, my lost lambs. Have faith. The Lord guides me to create the perfect instrument for each citizen of our town.
Each instrument's effects differ by person, too.
In your case, you were blessed with 3 drums and a special flower. This is the will of the Lord. You must accept it and have faith. If you ever find yourself lost again, return to me at any time.
Patty, I'm curious. Do you have an instrument too?
Huh? Me? Of course not. Why would I ever want one of those stupid things? I'm fine just watching you adults play your silly little games.
Zach, the pressed flower we took from the bathroom ended up coming straight back to us.
Hey, Agent...
Fear not. Our next stop, her name is Helena Doman.
What?
You know her?
Everyone... Hey, how'd you figure... No one told...
That's true. By pure chance. We picked it up from the ground while the pastor was busy. Patty, this is a prescription for a female hormone medication, which means this person is undergoing hormone treatment. Understand? This is the ticket to the goddess that we were meant to find. I just remembered something that Melvin said to me. Professor R isn't Now it all makes sense. Lena Doman is the stylish woman we've been searching. Professor R, in the flesh.
You know, Agent York.
Yes, I'll be on. So I hope you can trust us. Lollipop? 2 lollipops? 3 lollipops? Don't mind me, Zach. This is how I wake myself up. Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one. Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. This town sure is peaceful, Zach. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zach?
Hi, Agent York. Okay, let me take... You mind if I tell folks about how I got to...
Of course not.
I reckon I bet it'll...
When that happens, otherwise I'll have...
You trying to butter me up with...
Absolutely not. Your skills are... You figured out how I ride my board merely from the friction marks. Then adjusted my trucks based on... The wheel and bearing selection in your shop makes perfect sense. Your finesse with applying the deck tape was also impeccable. It's rare to find an artisan who... I now understand why you call this a workshop, rather. Emma, you should be more confident. Zach and I both guaranteed...
Agent York. See you later. Oh, if you ever got...
The address on the prescription led us to this...
Professor R.
Patty,
I don't know.
but you're the first person in town. You also, and when I tried to ask you more about it back then, you gave me... You're my assistant, aren't you? If you are, then you need to tell me everything you know about this case.
Daddy don't like Lena. He said it's stupid for a man to want to turn into a woman.
What?
And he told me I ain't supposed to talk about her. He said that if you knew someone like her was living here, Agent York...
That's ridiculous. Why would I ever hate this town? Because one of its inhabitants is transgender? Why in the world would that make a difference to me?
The other folks in town said the same thing as Daddy. They all know about Saint Rouge and and about how she's waging war against the Clarksons. But they all say we ain't supposed to talk about it. So...
And here I'd assumed that ignorant way of thinking died out with the 20th century. I guess I really am an outsider after all. I thought that everyone was cooperating with my investigation. But it turns out they were all hiding key information from me. Damn it, Zach. This just made me hate the countryside for the first time in my entire life. Oh, I'm sorry for being so loud, Patricia. But just remember this. Person's birthplace, nature, we're always free. And we should respect each other just the way we are. So you shouldn't feel a need to hate Lena for no reason, no matter what the people around you say. Sometimes things like common sense and decency can end up deeply hurting other people. I sincerely hope you don't forget that. But if Lena's committed a crime, that's a different story altogether. She may be a social minority, but she's still free and capable of knowing the difference between right and wrong. Professor R, I sincerely hope she's smart enough to understand.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Listen to the two ends and drink dry the firewater. Do this, and you will see the other world.
Zach, did you hear that? It's another oracle. I assume this means we're getting closer to the truth. Well, this is good. We don't have any other big clues at the moment. What do you say we continue the skeletal gentleman's game? After I spent the 90s listening to nothing but punk rock, I fell out of touch with music, but the digital audio player I received last Christmas changed everything. Nowadays, people can walk around with thousands of songs, and the two ends refer to neither periods nor a movie's credits. They refer to the last letter of the alphabet, Z. And what's a word that has two C's in it? Remember, we're in Louisiana. The firewater is even. It's alcohol. Let's go to that jazz bar and have. Don't worry.
Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle. Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle. Come in.
Oh, dear.
DC Eagle.
Well, Mr. York,
What sort of
looks like Daniel's gathered up a group of people to help him find Galena's killer on his own. If the Clarksons get serious, they'll probably put an end to this case before and it sure won't be wrapped up the way you want.
Yes, that's certainly. Judging from Daniel's temperament, things are bound to get out of. Melvin, I need to find Professor R.
Professor R?
That's right.
That ain't such a good...
I didn't ask for your personal opinion, Melvin, especially if it comes from an antiquated, xenophobic way of thinking that's characteristic of rural towns.
Whoa now, Mr. York. I didn't...
This conversation is over, Melvin. You need to figure out what the Clarksons are planning.
Huh? Fine.
Also, sorry, but would you mind coming to pick up Patricia? I would never think to take an innocent girl like her into an adult watering hole.
Yeah, you're right. CLG's still too...
Wait, Daddy! Agent York!
No, Patricia. You signed a I promise to protect you from all the evil.
That's not what it means!
Patty, you're smart, but you're still a child. And there are certain things a child like you doesn't need to learn about. Just go home for today. Okay, Melvin, that's the rest is in your...
Roger that. I'll...
So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Boondock. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of either? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me. By the way, Zach, Hungan feels very familiar to me. You might even say he reminds me of someone. Yes, I think I see the connection now. A cheerful, wise, yet also mysterious African-American who appeared in a variety of different films. My mind must be overlapping him with the skeletal gentleman. Do you remember his name? Ah, yes, that's it. Scatman Crothers. In 1980, he played Dick Halloran in The Shining. And in 1983, he was in The Twilight Zone. He played the man who invited all those elderly folks into a strange new world. I knew it, Zach. There's definitely a connection here, but he's a bit too old. Scatman's more of a sage character. Our skeletal gentleman is a little younger, isn't he? Yes. They have different body types, but what about Forrest Whitaker? He made his debut in 1982 in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Then he was in Platoon and The Color of Money, both released in 1986, followed by Good Morning Vietnam in 1987. Oh, and he was in Bird in 1988. What an impressive filmography. Across the 80s, he transformed his rough, young image into a more cheerful, wiser one. That's why the 80s can also be described as the decade that built up Forrest Whitaker's career. I firmly believe that he'll win an Academy Award for Best Actor someday. Yes, I'm sure it's right around the corner. He'll most likely wait until the time is ripe. Maybe around next year, then he'll unleash his best performance yet. Zach, I could go on about famous actors forever, but we have a case to solve here. Let's table this discussion for now. If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decomposed. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give some... Look, Zach. That seat is beckoning us. Listen to do this, and you will see Hungan's oracle point. So we must have to do something here. But I feel like the firewater... Zach, do you see that? It's a gigantic go sign. I think someone's trying to send us a very powerful message here. That settles it. This must be a singularity. Beautiful lipstick. The color red suits you.
Thank you. Red is the color of life. No human who knows the joy of life would ever hate this color. Or would they?
Maybe. Maybe not. But I know of a drug with a red color that certainly doesn't signify life. It sometimes even steals the lives of those who drown themselves in it. Catch my drift?
Before a candle's flame burns out, it burns brighter than ever before, blazing like a shining red star. Don't you think that instant is more valuable than a century of smoldering?
That blaze doesn't cast out the darkness. It only emphasizes it. But where are my manners? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Let me get straight to the point. You were present when Lise Clarkson was murdered. And you were also involved with Galena Clarkson's death. Correct?
Agent Morgan, are you a man who can hold his liquor?
I'd love some firewater.
We're similar, you and I.
Really? I don't see the resemblance.
Well, you should. Look deeper. Think about who you were when you were first born, and who you are now. Different selves exist inside your body.
Are you talking about Zach?
I was born as a man, but in my heart, I wasn't so. And this is a small town. I experienced far more scorn and discrimination than anyone could ever imagine. Especially from my father. Parents are supposed to raise their children with love. That's the norm, right? Not for me. I was raised by my father's flesh-seething hatred.
So you ran away from home, started making drugs, then seduced a young life and destroyed it? That story makes no sense to me. Think about it. They didn't burn you in a witch hunt, nor did they ever try to take your life. Yet here you are, letting your selfish fantasies drive you to torch the entire town with vengeful fire. Why did you abandon your inheritance only to end up in a place like this? What do you hope to achieve?
You've already figured out that much. Leonard doesn't exist anymore. He disappeared from me a long time ago. All that's left now is the Red Soul.
The Red Soul?
The Red Soul gives me strength and courage. And I vowed to use that strength to change this world. The Red Soul has the power to amplify the unique characteristics we all possess. Mentally and physically. That's why I created the holy red powder. So that everyone can enjoy its divine benefits.
That's ridiculous.
Our world is home to scarier monsters than violence and prejudice.
Ugh. Zach.
Someday, even your best friend will abandon you.
No. Never.
And in the end, you'll be all alone.
Zach and I will always be together.
Daddy! Daddy! Where are you, Daddy? Don't leave me here! Daddy! Please! I can't find Mommy either! Don't leave me alone! Please? Please, Daddy. Please, Daddy.
Oh, no wonder they call her the professor. Whew. But perhaps she realized that she's finally crossed the point of no return. We need to head to the Clarksons at once before it's too late. We can still stop this. So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Undan. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of either? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me. By the way, Zach, Hungan feels very familiar to me. You might even say he reminds me of someone. Yes, I think I see the connection now. A cheerful, wise, yet also mysterious African-American who appeared in a variety of different films. My mind must be overlapping him with the skeletal gentleman. Do you remember his name? Ah, yes, that's it. Scatman Crothers. In 1980, he played Dick Halloran in The Shining, and in 1983, he was in The Twilight Zone. He played the man who invited all those elderly folks into a strange new... There's nothing past here, except fields and fields of sugarcane, that is. Let's continue the investigation, Zach. I know we... 1 lollipop? 2 lollipops? 3 lollipops? Don't mind me, Zach. This is how I wake myself up. Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I'll bet that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Solima. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge, a long bridge. During the New Orleans part, that's the one thing I remember. That bridge must have been the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, and the film starred Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. What an amazing sound. You couldn't possibly find another man whose name matches his appearance so perfectly. Yes, of course I know that Charles Bronson isn't his real name. Charles Dennis Buczynski. That's his real name, but he's Bronson. Period. Zach, what's your favorite Bronson film? Death Wish? The Magnificent Seven? Rider on the Rain? Or Farewell Friend? They're all masterpieces, but to me, his greatest work lies elsewhere. That's it, Zach. No wonder we get along so well. I don't care what anyone else says. His greatest film by far is 10 to Midnight, 1983, directed by J. Lee Thompson. There's no realism to be found in this movie, but that's what makes it so great. One might even call it a fantasy masterpiece. It was certainly filled with unprecedented fantasy compared to other police thrillers, that's for sure. You know, Zach, I'm suddenly getting the urge to watch it again. Let's hurry up and solve this case so that we can go rent the DVD. Hey Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand. And Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases, marked by nothing but a first-degree murder tag buried in a soggy grave at the bottom of a sea of data. That would have been its fate. Instead, it traveled from person to person until it finally fell right into our lap. Things always work out that way for us. We've traveled all over the United States trying to track down Sang Rouge. We can't let this chance pass us by, can we, Zach? We need to find some sort of clue before this southern sun melts it all away. Zach, it's a singularity. The Oracle was right on the mark. The mouth to the other world is open, ready to swallow us alive. I think this case is finally... Here we go again, Zach. You don't have to explain everything. Not while this eccentric, provocative Zach, do you feel it? It's the same feeling I got when we... Professor R, Lena, came. It looks like nothing but a suicide attempt. Did she have some trick up her sleeve? They certainly look a little rough. Perhaps we should. They're holding their weight, even if they came rushing in all at once. Maybe the Clarksons aren't as fearsome, or perhaps they've fallen into such a decline.
Now you decide to come back, huh? What for?
Zach, is this her trump? It looks pretty elaborate. She also, her wisdom, I just hope she...
Yes, I abandoned my family. But that has nothing to do with the Clarksons' downfall. It's much more complicated than that.
Oh, I agree. It's a hell of a lot more complicated. Just look at these assholes. They're so goddamn stupid. They won't even shit unless I tell them to do it. And you...
Philip J. Clark's, the horrible father. Of course, he looks... It's hard to believe he's an over...
The legacy of the Clarksons is like a candle in the wind, a sad vestige of what it used to be. But it's not completely dead yet.
So what? You came here to snuff it out yourself?
Oh, no. I didn't come to snuff anything out. I came to make it burn red once more.
What in hell is with you? Did that red powder finally make you lose your mind?
She looks so... Perhaps but that wouldn't... We know how...
Just like you said, times have changed. You've gotten old. Your power is waning. But after you and all the old... The goddess...
And... Ha! You know, you're... Here, go on. Take my... But don't you folks... That's Clarkson blood. Oh, you took the long way to it.
Oh, I won't be inheriting...
What?
I'm not the goddess of fertility either.
Well, then...
But I'm still powerful.
Professor R fought hard in this hall. And the last gunshot we heard sounded ominous, Zach. Everything she says seems to hint at some deeper meaning. The goddess of fertility taking over all of Louisiana with her newfound power? The details elude me, but she's clearly plotting something big. But if she dies here, she'll never be able to complete it. Why risk it then? Oh well. Let's continue on. I'm sure we'll find the answer once we reach the inner sanctum. Now this is a surprise.
You're surprised. This is my house. And I can set foot wherever I please within my own house. Or is that against the law now, too, FBI?
Where's Professor R?
100 years ago, my father, Isaac Clarkson, came to this town and subjugated its people with his might. In time, he created an empire that put the entire southwest region of Louisiana right in the palm of his hand. Whenever any of his kin betrayed him, he'd cut 'em limb from limb and make an example of 'em. The shadows need a way of keeping the balance, too. That's why the 7 roots exist. Sometimes they chop a fella's ears off, maybe scoop his eyes out. Then they chop off all the limbs. Either way, they all ended up looking the same in the end. No different from mixing up the ingredients in your food. But this is sick. Why would any soul ever need to line up the stumps all neat like this? What's happening in Lucari right now ain't right. It ain't nothing like what we got up to back in my day. You know, it kinda feels like what you call pure evil. I'll be real honest here. Right now, I'm afraid the evil that's taking this era by the balls is trying to gobble up Lucari too. Francis York Morgan, you FBI son of a bitch. Just what in hell did you come to this town for?
Well, I hate to rain on your sensational parade of a monologue, but my answer is simple. I came here chasing a drug called Sang Rouge that's been steadily permeating the southern states, and I plan to arrest all the perpetrators involved.
Oh, you sure sound like a devil, all right.
So be it. You're free to interpret my words any way you like.
Well, interpret this. You've come here to bring death and destruction to our town, or my name isn't P.J. Clarkson. You leave a mountain of corpses in your wake. So go on and suffer in the name of justice or whatever you want to call it.
Zach, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove that we fight on the side of justice. But why was Philip here in the first place? I thought we were inside. The only reason this world's so...
Yeah.
I grew up in this room. As my back broke under all my father's expectations.
Your cocktail was delicious. So delicious, in fact, that it carried me off into a dream. Huh. Professor R., what did you hope to achieve by coming back to this house? I don't believe for a moment that you'd ever risk your life just to get revenge on your father.
Leonard Clarkson. That was my name when I lived here. Everyone called me Lenny. My father taught me all sorts of things so that I would grow up to become a proper heir. How to manipulate people. How to properly use tools such as violence and rewards. But I could never bring myself to care about any of it.
You left this place in order to find your true self. But what did that achieve? In the end, you fell back into Lucare. And now you spend your time selling the new drug you created, preying on the weak. You and the Clarksons are exactly alike in that regard. No, you choose your victims indiscriminately, which makes you even uglier.
Some people find joy in ruining themselves, offering up their lives to whatever they worship. This cycle has repeated itself since long ago. To me, it's the most noble of actions. Surely you must agree, Agent Morgan.
Stop trying to rationalize your crimes with that dramatic gibberish. Vicissitudo, the Latin word used to describe a fluctuation between two polar opposites. Galina's body wasn't a declaration of war. It was this, wasn't it? Those severed roots were fakes. Who did you force to kill Galina?
I can't believe you figured out that much. You're dangerous.
What you're talking about is true madness, not some noble fairy tale.
You're going to shoot me. Okay. Go ahead and shoot. Come on! Shoot me! The Clarkson bloodline is cursed. It needs purification. A blood purge!
Zach, here it is again. A red tree and a translucent cocoon. I think we've reached the core.
The goddess of fertility will descend into Lucare, and then the sweet fruit will be ours. Destruction is the first step to creation. Lisa's death sent everything into motion. There's no stopping it now. Her death proved how determined I am, how dedicated I am to all who trust in me. Galena and Lise, their deaths were not in vain. They led us to the harvest. The Clarkson blood curse will be washed away. Life must be sacrificed. Blood purge. Blood purge. Blood. Blood. I need blood! Galena and Lise, they're both dead. I can't turn back now! The Red Soul can't die here! You can't erase it! Blood Purge! The Blood Purge! We will create a new world! A new generation! The blood must be purified!
That's the true self you worked so hard to find. I'm sorry, Lena. I gave you far more credit than I ever should have.
The Clarksons have always been the chosen ones, proud souls, divine life-given form. But at some point, that blood became tainted. So I decided to reset it. I need to purify this corrupt blood for the one I love most. After I left home, I met the Red Soul and acquired a guide. And so I created the red powder and became an apostle for the red magic. The red powder transforms the body from within. It creates empowered souls, and mature souls are the greatest offering one can present to the goddess. Lise and Galena didn't lose their minds. They both died with honor.
Died with honor. Just how deluded are you? You dismembered them and strung up their bodies in the name of vapid symbolism. Where's the honor in that? So what if they said they wanted to die? Cultists have been saying that for centuries.
Silence! You will impede us no longer. You're always so smug. Oh, how I hate you. This is the last you'll ever see of my plan. Now die! Purification! No one can stop my plan. This is true immolation! This can't be happening. I'm supposed to be invincible. Purification! If you kill me, no one will be left to tell you about the plan. No. How could I lose? But it's too late. No one can stop my plan. Now, not even me. Red Tree!
Lena, let go. I'm going to count to 3. Then you're going to get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head. Got it?
See this? If I let go, the bomb in the fireplace will explode.
Do something smart for once, Lena. Detonating that bomb won't solve anything.
You're wrong, Agent Morgan. It'll give me the ending I've always dreamed of.
Leonard, you're wrong. Killing me won't bring back our family's prosperity.
No! I know I am right!
You never change. Once you make up your mind, that single idea possesses you. It's almost like you're cursing yourself. Oh, my, always holding on to all your pain.
No! You're the one who's wrong!
When you first told me about the disparity between your mind and your body, I didn't know how to love you.
Stop it! I don't want to hear this!
But I always knew from the very start.
Stop talking!
There was something special inside you. I also know that you had any cause with your older sister. Your own flesh and blood.
Shut up!
I just didn't know how to treat you. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Stop. Please.
I never, ever hated you. I always loved you. From the bottom of my...
I said shut up.
Don't, Lena!
This is necessary. All of the corrupt blood must die. The Clarksons' blood must be purged. Then, the purity that's left behind can rebuild the Clarksons' legacy.
Is that the goddess of fertility?
Go and see her with your own eyes. You're an FBI special agent. Surely you can find her. No one can stop my plan now. Not even me.
No, stop!
Patricia Clarkson.
Paul! Oh, Paul! Oh, my God! Whoa, 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 whoa.
Agent York? Can you hear me?
What is it, Patty? Where's Melvin?
Well, I don't know. He won't answer me, and he ain't at the sheriff's office either. What should I do? You think he got caught up in some kind of trouble?
Oh, shit! I got nothing now.
I can't.
Patty, I need someone at the Clarksons' house ASAP. I don't care who you send. They can also ask Daniel Clarkson about the details once they get here. And you should also call an ambulance, just in case. Got it?
Huh? Sure.
I'm going to head straight over to the sheriff's office, Patty. Let's meet up there. Zach, it appears to be closed. Let's come back during... Did you find Melvin?
Nope, I can't find either of them.
Either of them?
Yeah. When I went home, it wasn't just my daddy who was missing. Mama was gone too. This never happened before.
Zach, we need to stop Professor R's plan no matter what it takes. Relax, Patty. You don't need to worry about a thing. I'm sure that Melvin just stumbled across an important clue that's stolen his attention for now. And I'm sure he's protecting your mother while he's at it. Let's just leave the investigation to the local police and rest for today. I need to prepare a report for the HQ anyway. How about staying with me in my room until we find them?
But...
You don't need to worry. I can't make you any homemade food, but I've got a first-class chef and a first-class concierge at my disposal. Oh, and a very affable bellboy. It's a lot of fun at that hotel.
But... Okay, I guess. Thanks, Agent York.
You're a lady, so you take the bed. Zach and I will be fine on the couch. Zach, the Clarkson family tree is nothing like we thought it was. We need to reorganize everything we've uncovered. She was so tired she fell right to sleep. Hey, Zach, I'm in a very difficult spot right now. I feel like this case is heading in a direction that will be extremely unpleasant for her. I've never felt anything. First, let's go back to the beginning. Lise Clarkson's body was found hanging under a bridge over the bayou. In a deserted spot close to where the bayou meets the Mississippi. The one who fired the pistol at heaven surely had no idea what he would find there. Speaking of which, Zach, Chuck, the man who started this race we're running, what's his occupation? That's right. He's a crawfish farmer. And after chasing a poacher's boat that crossed over into his farm, he went up the bayou and was fortunate enough to find Lisa's body. I doubt it was a very pleasant experience for him. But if not for his discovery, Lisa's body might have started rotting out there. He's a difficult person to be sure, but I don't think he's a bad guy. Chuck said something peculiar. He claimed the Clarksons were a little better when their son was still around. I don't know exactly what he meant, but we ended up meeting the person he was talking about, didn't we? Under very unexpected circumstances, Leonard Clarkson. He ran away from home, found his true self, then changed name. So, Zach. Helena Doman. The townspeople call her Lena. She was also known as Professor R while she plotted against the Clarksons. She's the mother of the new drug known as Sang Rouge. She must have also had a group of followers who worshipped her fanatically. I can see it now. Lena sprinkling down the red powder, corrupting every last pure and innocent girl in town. Lena mentioned her plan each time we met. She must have taken us for utter fools, Zach. She thought she was always one step ahead of us, and that we'd never see the full scope of her plan. Well, her plan isn't complete yet, and I know we can still stop it. That's why we need to learn all we can about her. Her alias was Professor R, and she was well learned in the areas of medicine and fire dynamics. By the way, Zach, do you remember what weapon Lena used to murder PJ? Correct. She used a miniature bomb. To tell you the truth, she surprised me. That bomb was so well placed, it left hardly any damage on the building itself. Yet still did amazing work on them. Lena should have used that brain of hers for something more productive than that saga of revenge. For example, reviving Lucare's economy from the industrial sector. Widen your perspective, and with her intelligence and her charisma, I'm sure she would have found some amazing opportunities. Such a tragedy. Zach, there's one more important matter we need to think about here. Galena Clarkson, who was murdered in jail. Her body was dismembered, then rearranged into a V shape. Patty and Melvin claimed it was a severed roots killing. But that doesn't make sense to me. And PJ Clarkson disapproved of it. He saw Galena's parts lined up and was overcome by an inexplicable fear. Tell me, who killed Galena? Unfortunately, we don't have the answer to this one yet. And it's too big a problem to... The answer to this question may lead to a major turning point for this case. And the final turning point for this story. You know it's true, Zach. I only hope it doesn't push us down an avenue we didn't plan on exploring. Hey, Zach. Do you remember PJ's last words? Lena had intercourse with her older sister. Her own flesh and blood. This means there's still one more person out there who inherited PJ's blood.
Oh, fucking poachers, now I gotcha. Caught you red-handed.